Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. Then today's episode. I seen that, and I haven't played Battle. Well, I did play the beta, but I mean the game hasn't came out yet. As I'm recording this episode, it actually comes out tomorrow. So I guess based off of my streams and how I'm overall talking about the game, I probably might have some videos out before this episode comes out of me talking about Battlefield. But no, IGN had I guess they gave the campaign like it was like a 5 out of 10 or something like that. Hold on for a second, let me find it. Yeah, they gave it a 5 out of 10. They said a safe dual reimagining of what Battlefield once was, rather a bold reinvention of what it could be. What do they mean by that? Like, my thing is this. It's like, and I guess I'm gonna leave it up to overall what the audience, like, what they're saying about it and stuff. Because, when I did play multiplayer, I thought multiplayer was pretty solid. So, like, it is gonna be different than, when campaign, where I guess when the game fully releases, we'll be able to see Battlefield for what it really is. And that's the thing where I'm like, you guys have the opportunity, and that's why I'm like, I don't know, I guess, like, without spoiling it, but you have the opportunity to play Battlefield 6 earlier before anybody else do, and that's how y'all talk about it? I mean, like, I don't know, like, I can't really say too much about campaign, but I'm just gonna be going based off of when I played the other campaigns. I guess, like, if it's this amazingly short campaign, then that's why I'm like, hopefully they have like a bunch of single player content in the game, and they're like, okay, besides campaign there's this other stuff, so that's why we didn't really focus on campaign too much. If that's the case, then okay, cool. But if it's going to be on some stuff, and that's the thing where I'm like, what new things could you add to Battlefield? And that's why I was sitting down talking about it in my stream, where I was like, the one thing that I think it would be good for Battlefield if they had a mission editor. So in case, like, okay, like, we couldn't think of anything else to do with campaign, so yeah, let's just have it where we have a mission editor. So it's like, we'll put you because I imagine they're gonna have it where there's a bunch of different areas that you can go to and stuff. So yeah, they should just have it where it's like, you just go and select those areas, you get to add whatever buildings you want to add whatever cars, do whatever you want to do, whether it's like some Battlefield racing or some, like, survival mode or something. Like, there should just be a bunch of different things that you can do in Battlefield. That's what I'm saying. Like, Battlefield 6 needs to be the ultimate Battlefield simulator. It has to be better than 1 through 5, like 1 through 5, Bad Company 1 through what was it? They only did 2. So yeah, Bad Company 1 and 2, Hardline, it gotta be better than them, like World War II, like, what was it, 1943, 44, or something like that. Like, Battlefield 6 has to be better than every Battlefield game out there. Like I said, it has to be the ultimate Battlefield simulator. And that's the thing where I'm like, I find it hard to believe. That's why I'm like, I really can't wait to see what campaign is going to be like. Because I find it hard to believe the last time they came out with a campaign mode in Battlefield, it was with Battlefield 5, right? Hold on for a second. Let me see real quick. 2018, what was the next one after that? The game is the successor. Okay, and then, so yeah, there was the 2018, and then what, 2021, that was the 2042 one. So hold on for a second. So there's like the games, okay, 2042. So yeah, they had like, so it's 2018 for Battlefield 5, and then 2021 was 2042. And I'm like, dang, bro, it's like they just had way too much going on. But anyways, overall, the Battlefield Road to Battlefield 6, huh? That must be like a season pass thing or something like that. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, it was 2018. So it's like you guys had more than 5 years to sit down and come out with probably the best campaign of all time. I'm like, fam, that's why I'm like, I don't know, like, maybe IGN was thinking, because I'm really trying to sit down and think, like, what was not good about, because when I look at them giving the campaign a 5 out of 10, they're saying that it's not good, but it's also, or it's not bad, but it's not good neither. And that's why I'm like, okay, well, what was wrong with that? I guess, like, without spoiling it, then when they leave like this vague review talking about hold on for a second, a safe dual reimagining of what Battlefield once was, rather a bold reinvention of what it could be. So I'm assuming that they're saying it could have been more, but it was less. And that's why I'm like, and then they were saying, well, in my opinion, Black Ops 6, somebody had wrote that and they gave it a 9 out of 10. So that's why I'm like, at times, IGN, they can do that. They can mess up on reviews, because I know there's been times before, like, I have to, like, sit down and look through the games that I have that they've reviewed, because I feel like that there's been times where I've played games where I'm like, fam, this is the best game of all time. Like, hold on for a second. Let me see what they had rated the Spider-Man 2 game. Spider-Man 2 IGN review. Let's see. Yeah, see, there's no way that they gave that an 8 out of 10, but then they gave Black Ops 6 a 9 out of 10. There's no way. There is no way. Hold on for a second. Let me see. They really gave it an 8 out of 10. They was like, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 delivers Insomniac's best tale yet, and despite its open world falling short, is a reliably fun superhero power trip. How does it... Okay. Because that's the thing where I'm like, IGN, that's the thing, I go to IGN from time to time to look up stuff. I'm like, no, there's at times where I'm like, okay, let me check IGN first, and then go out and see whether I want to get this game or not. Well, I wonder what they gave Borderlands 4, because Borderlands 4, I'm like, hold on for a second, then Borderlands 4, wait a minute, let me check IGN review. Let's see what they gave. They gave that an 8 out of 10. So that's why I'm like, yeah, me personally, I think that Battlefield 6, the campaign, is going to most likely end up being good. Because if they give that an 8 out of 10, I'm like, fam, that was the most buggiest game ever. I'm like, so here, this is my experience with Borderlands 4. Yeah, they had to come out with some updates to fix it and stuff. But when that game and that's why I'm like, okay, maybe that might be the case with Battlefield 6. And if it is, then I'm like, then yeah, pretty much. But here's the thing, though. I feel like that I'm a little bit more experience, but I feel like I played a little bit of Borderlands. Like when I played Borderlands 2, I'm like, I didn't get that same experience with 2 that I did with 4, so I'm like, what's the issue? But you give that game an 8 out of 10, but you give Battlefield 6, their campaign, a 5 out of 10. I'm really confused, but I'm like, IGN, here's the thing. People go to you guys because they consider you guys a reliable source when it comes to gaming. When you're leaving reviews like that, you give Call of Duty's, like, their latest Call of Duty games, like, a high rating. And my thing is this: the only fun that I had with Black Ops 6 was the zombies, playing it with friends. I was like, yeah, it brought me back to when I was in high school. And then me and my friends, we'd just be sitting around dumping hours into zombies. But other than that, multiplayer hasn't hit in Call of Duty in I don't know how long. It seems like the only thing that they focus on is Warzone. Yeah, they'll come out with a bunch of different things for Warzone, but with campaign, on the other hand, they tried to do something different with campaign and zombies when they did Modern Warfare 3, and look at how that turned out. And then with Modern Warfare 2, I was like, that was probably, and what did they give that? Hold on for a second, because I was like, that game, that was probably the most buggiest game that I had played, Call of Duty game that I played. Let me see, IGN review. Was that the new one or the old one? Wait a minute. Single player, they gave it a 6 out of 10. Yeah, see that? Well, campaign was all right, but okay, so let's see, Modern Warfare 2. What did they give the overall, like, just the whole game itself? Yeah, they gave that also an 8 out of 10. That's why I'm like, yeah, IGN, you guys used to be reliable, but when you're doing things like that, you're giving games where it's like, these are probably been some of the most buggiest games that we have played in the recent years, from Borderlands 4, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I mean, it was all right. I just think that the reason why a lot of people had hyped that game up is because it was another Call of Duty Black Ops game. I mean, the last one that we had got before that was Cold War. Cold War was all right, but still, again, I feel like Call of Duty, they peaked when they did Call of Duty Modern Warfare, that 2019 version. I wonder what they reviewed that Modern Warfare 2019 IGN review. Let's see what they gave that an 8 out of 10. That was probably and then they give Black Ops 6 a 9 out of 10. Yeah, see, IGN, I'm like, yeah, you guys definitely got some stuff going on, because that to me just doesn't even make any sense. You give Call of Duty Black Ops 6 a 9 out of 10, but you give the Call of Duty that literally kickstart the franchise that we're seeing today an 8 out of 10. Yeah, it might not be that much of a difference, but in my opinion, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, that was the last best Call of Duty game. Black Ops Cold War, don't get me wrong, that game was alright, but campaign, wasn't feeling campaign. Multiplayer, nah. Zombies was probably the best thing in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. And then all the other Call of Duties, like, yeah, Vanguard, Modern Warfare 2, 3, Black Ops 6, like, they, at best, in my opinion, they probably, all of those games put together, they're probably like maybe a 6 out of 10. Because it's like everything else seemed like it fell short, but it just seemed like that the only thing, yeah, if we're playing Warzone, oh yeah, Warzone's probably going to end up getting a 10 out of 10. Even though it's the same thing every year, all they just do is just change the name to one of the modes in there and add a couple of real life people that you can play as. But other than that, or some cartoon characters, but other than that, it just, Call of Duty doesn't hit like how it used to, you know? So that's why I'm like, with Black Ops 7, not all that hype for Black Ops 7, you know, because there's nothing that they're saying about that game that's like convincing me to go out and get it, versus Battlefield 6. This was the last time they came out, in my opinion, the last time they came out with a Battlefield game that peaked. It was probably Battlefield 3. Now, I'm assuming that they went down that same route with Battlefield 3, and 4 was good too. Battlefield 4 was also good. But I'm assuming that they went down that same road that they did with Battlefield 3 and 4. And if they did, then I'm like, fam, there's nothing that can possibly be wrong with this game. So that's why I'm like, fam, IGN, what games do you guys be playing? Because and there be at times too, I'll be watching some of IGN's reviews, and I'm like, fam, you guys, the way that they'll talk about games, like, there's games I remember them reviewing where I was like, fam, that game was actually good. Like, what did they, I wonder, what did they give Forza? Like, fam, I'm just out here just finding out all these different, you know what, Forza Horizon 5, let's see what they gave that. Because Forza Horizon 5, oh, they gave that a 10 out of 10. Okay, because I was about to say, I'm like, y'all are crazy. But anyways, Forza Motorsport, they gave that an 8 out of 10. And that was probably Forza Motorsport, the last Forza Motorsport. Now, here's the thing. I'm a big Forza fan. I have a whole channel dedicated to Forza content. Forza Motorsport, this last one that they came out with, that felt more of a tech demo than a video game. It didn't feel like it was a full video game. Like, they do have, like, some things in there that you can do, but it seemed like they more so made it for multiplayer. And I'm like, fam, if that was the case, then you should have just made it into a multiplayer game. But it's like you're making it into, you're adding stuff, you're adding single player content. But it was like, fam, I'm telling you right now, if I wasn't a content creator and didn't like ration out like my content and stuff, or the games that I play, I'm telling you right now, Forza Motorsport, I probably would have been able to beat that game within the day. So that's why I'm like, fam, and that's the thing where I'm like, IGN, I don't know what you guys got going on, but I think it should be, I think that's how they need to start doing reviews, is kind of like how Rotten Tomato, how they do it. Because I know Rotten Tomato, they'll have their reviews about like, oh, this movie, we giving it a 20% or something like that. But then you see the audience gives it an 80, and it's like, okay, Rotten Tomato, what movie did you guys watch? But that's one thing that they'll do though, is they'll have it where the fans reviews also will be next to their like to the movie that they're reviewing and stuff. So you look at the fans and then be like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna go with what the fans are saying. Yeah, there's at times where Rotten Tomato and even IGN too, where it's like they review a game and it's accurate. But then there's times where they'll review games and movies and you know what? Hold on for a second. I think this is going to be the final nail in the coffin for IGN's reviews and stuff. Let's see what NBA 2K to 8 out of 10. Yeah, that's I'm not listening to them when it comes to their review on the campaign for Battlefield 6. If you done gave NBA 2K well, okay, you know what about NBA 2K25? I'm like, maybe I need to go back a year, because I didn't play 2K26. Let's see what they gave 2K20. Yeah, they gave it a 7 out of 10. I'm like, nah, bro. You guys is out here giving NBA 2K literally the same game every year. You know, that's the funny thing about it. You guys just reviewed the same game twice, but you gave it a higher rating this year. What was the difference? I guess like that's what I would like to know. What was the difference between last year's NBA 2K and this year's NBA 2K? Because last I checked, I was like, there wasn't that much of a difference. Based off of what the fans be saying, those that be playing it on a regular, it didn't sound like that there was that much of a difference. So it really trips me out how you guys will say that you'll give NBA 2K a good rating and stuff, but you won't give Battlefield 6 a good rating. That's why I'm like, man, I'm telling you, I cannot wait for this game to come out tomorrow. This is one game that I'm hyped for, and if this game is crap, if it ain't good, then I'm like, yeah, then EA, you lost my love and respect. I'm like, I have like a love-hate relationship with EA. Sometimes they'll come out with a good game, sometimes they'll come out with a bad game, but with Battlefield 6, I'm like, this is one game that you cannot fumble on. I'm like, that it's, the thing, I wonder what they gave Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm like, let me see what their IGN rating was. IGN review 10 out of 10. Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, well, what about 4? I wonder what they gave that one. 10 out of 10. Okay, San Andreas, I'm like, cuz sometimes, though, 9.9 out of 10, that's crazy. Anyways, yeah, I'm not listening to IGN pretty much when it comes to their reviews and stuff. Not on Battlefield 6. Because just based off of my experience with the multiplayer was actually good. Yeah, I might have been getting killed left and right, but visually, amazing. I'm like, no, Battlefield, that's one thing that they managed to get down. And then just even watching clips, like I was watching this one clip of this dude where he was like posting a bunch of, like, it was like a montage of like helicopters getting shot down. Fam, some of the most realistic looking gameplay, but I'm like, that's why I'm like, I'm curious to see what their full review is going to be. But if they're giving Campaign a 5 out of 10, I imagine that IGN, their full review of the game when it does come out, is going to be like a 6 or a 7. I didn't mean to like crack that meme joke or something. I'm being realistic with my numbers here. I'm not cracking no memes or no jokes and saying no memes and stuff. But yeah, I think their review, it probably is going to, let's just say a 7 or a 6. I'll say it backwards, but anyways, yeah, man, Campaign, I'm like, cause, and just with the experience that I've had, Battlefield, so overall, like all of the different like campaigns that I did play and beat, I played and beat Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, and Battlefield 4. All 3 of those games campaigns was probably some of the best campaign or like single player missions that I played in a shooter game. Like, don't get me wrong, Call of Duty be having some good missions too, but I mean Battlefield 3 and 4, them games, those games alone, I'm like, fam, what is this experience that I'm getting right now? Like, what are you guys doing? Like, and that, it trips me out. Like, there'll be at times where EA, it's like they'll flop with some games, but when it came down to Battlefield, they never flop with them. I did like, and I mean, yeah, with bad, or not bad, but 2042, they did flop with that. I'll admit, like that was at Battlefield. I think they were trying to compete with Black Ops 4, and I'm like, yeah, you should have competed with them the same year. You guys came out with this game like sometime later, and I don't know, maybe it was because of the pandemic, and that's why they couldn't really do a whole lot with 2042. But some stuff could have been done with 2042. More single player stuff. So, but anyways, yeah, man, I can't wait for this game to come out. If you guys want to see me play, I will be streaming it tomorrow. So yeah, with that, I will be playing Campaign and seeing how it goes. So anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Most likely by the time when you guys see this this podcast or hear this podcast episode, I'm probably already done played the game. Might be halfway through Campaign, might be playing multiplayer or some other stuff. But yeah, with that being said, talk to y'all later. Thank you guys, and peace.